You are not tired because you sleep little. You are tired because every night you do exactly what destroys your sleep, and you do not even realize it. And the worst part? Some of the habits that seem normal, harmless, even relaxing, are exactly the ones that are sabotaging your energy, your mental clarity, your mood, and your ability to function the next day. So before going to sleep today, you need to hear this, because there is a big chance that your night routine is training your body to fail, training your brain not to shut down, training your organism to spend the whole night busy when it should be recovering. And if you keep repeating this, it does not matter how many hours you stay in bed, you will keep waking up heavy, without focus, without willingness, without presence, as if the night had never been useful for anything. But here is what almost no one tells you. Sleep is not just closing your eyes. Recovery does not happen automatically. Your body needs to be prepared to rest. Your brain needs to receive the right signals. Your nervous system needs to understand that the day is over. And most people do exactly the opposite. They eat dinner late. They drown their eyes in screens. They go to bed with a crowded mind. They sleep at random times. And then they keep trying to understand why they wake up destroyed. In this video, you will understand the night routine that really helps your body enter deep recovery. And pay attention until the end, because the last habit is the most ignored of all. And it may be the main reason why your sleep is still bad, even when you think you are doing everything right. If you get this right, your night changes. And when your night changes, your whole day starts to work in a different way. The first mistake seems small, but it delays your recovery every time you repeat it. Eating close to bedtime. A lot of people treat this as if it had no importance, as if it were only a detail, a snack, a silly thing, a reward for the tiring day. But your body does not see food as affection. It sees food as a task. The instant you eat at night, especially shortly before sleeping, your organism goes into work mode. It activates digestion. It increases metabolic activity. It raises internal temperature. It mobilizes energy to process what came in. And this is a huge problem, because deep sleep requires the opposite. It requires slowing down, a drop in temperature, less activity, less internal demand. That is, when you eat late, your body does not go fully into repair. It goes into conflict. While one part tries to rest, the other is still busy trying to handle digestion. And this conflict charges you dearly the next day, not necessarily because you slept few hours, but because your body could not use those hours in the right way. That is why so many people wake up as if they had been beaten by their own night. The body lay down, but it did not restore. The mind shut off, but it did not renew. The person even slept, but did not truly rest. And here begins one of the most important turning points. If you want your body to enter real recovery, stop eating between 2 and 3 hours before sleeping. Give space for the organism to slow down. Let digestion finish before demanding deep repair. It seems simple, and it is. But what destroys your energy many times is not something dramatic. It is a small mistake, repeated consistently. Only there is a second saboteur even more dangerous, because today it has already become part of almost everyone's routine. And because of that, almost no one notices the damage it does. The light that enters your eyes at night may be teaching your brain to remain awake. This is one of the biggest paradoxes of modern life. People are exhausted, but they live surrounded by stimuli that tell the brain to stay alert. One more video, one more scroll, one more message, one more notification, a few more minutes that become almost an hour. And while you think you are just relaxing, your brain is receiving a completely different command. It observes the light. It interprets brightness. It measures clarity to decide whether it is time to keep you awake or begin to shut the system down. When you spend the night looking at bright screens, especially very close to bedtime, your brain understands that it is still not time to produce melatonin in the ideal way. It delays the process. It postpones the dive into deep sleep. It keeps your body in a state of wakefulness that should be decreasing. And that changes everything. Because the problem is not only taking longer to fall asleep, the problem is messing up the entire process that should lead you to the most restorative rest of the night. Maybe you are not a person who does not know how to sleep. Maybe you are just bombarding your brain with the wrong signal every day. And if the signal is wrong, the body obeys the signal. Because of that, one of the most powerful changes you can make is to reduce exposure to strong light 1 hour before sleeping. Lower the brightness of the house. Turn on night mode on the phone. Avoid screens as much as possible in that period. Create an environment that looks like real night, because your body does not relax fully. When the environment keeps shouting, it is still daytime. And the most curious thing is that many people think that resting is just stopping work, but it is not. Resting also requires transition. Your body needs to gradually leave the state of acceleration. And that leads to the next point, which seems too simple to work, but works exactly because it speaks with your biology. A warm shower at night can be one of the most effective signals that the day is ending. It seems banal. It seems small. It even seems cliché. But the effect is far from superficial. When you take a warm shower, blood is carried more to the surface of the skin. After that, when you leave the shower, your body begins to lose heat. And this gradual drop in internal temperature helps signal to the brain that the time has come to slow down. In other words, you create a bridge between the state of activity and the state of rest. And that matters a lot, because most people try to fall asleep without ever really having left the day. The body is still tense. The breathing is still short. The mind is still running. The nervous system is still in response mode. The person spends hours being pulled by noise, tasks, pressure, demands, stimulus, and then expects the organism to shut down instantly just because the head touched the pillow. But the human body does not like abrupt interruptions. It responds better to rituals, to repetition, to consistent signals. That is why the warm shower works so well. Not because it is magical, but because it helps the body understand that the speed has changed. And if you want to deepen even more this sensation of slowing down, you can use that moment for a simple care with the skin. Wash your face without hurry. Apply a moisturizer. Make a basic gesture of self-care. Not for aesthetics, not for vanity, but because this communicates something very important to the mind. The day ended, and now I am returning to myself. These small gestures have more power than they seem to have, because they reorganize your relationship with your own routine. You stop living the end of the day on autopilot, and you begin to create a kind of silent ritual of self-respect. Only even getting food, light, and physical preparation right, there is still one thing capable of destroying your rest every night, and it lives inside your mind. Most people lie down with the body in bed, and the head still standing. This is one of the most ignored reasons for accumulated tiredness. People do not end the day mentally. They simply stop. But stopping is not the same as closing. Throughout the day, you keep accumulating decisions, pending matters, small guilts, worries, incomplete tasks, badly digested conversations, promises you did not keep, things you need to remember tomorrow. All of this stays open inside the mind. And while there is movement, distraction, and noise, this seems bearable. But when night comes and silence appears, these pending matters gain volume. That is why so many people lie down, tired, and suddenly become mentally accelerated. It is not coincidence. It is accumulation. It is unprocessed overload. It is the mind trying to organize by itself all that which you never helped it close. And there is an extremely simple solution for this. Before sleeping, take a notebook and make a short review of the day. Write what worked. Write what did not work. Write what you learned, without dramatizing, without attacking yourself, without turning reflection into guilt. After that, write the 3 real priorities of the next day. Not 10, not 20. 3. The 3 that really matter. The 3 that would give tomorrow a concrete direction. When you do this, something changes in your mind. It understands that it does not need to keep repeating everything non-stop so as not to forget. It realizes that that has already been recorded, that there is a place for each pending matter, that it does not need to carry everything at the same time. And this simple act closes mental loops. And when the loops close, internal silence begins to appear. Many people think they are tired from doing too much, but, in truth, they are tired from thinking too much without concluding anything internally. Tired of living with the mind full of open tabs. Tired of trying to rest without ever having unloaded the weight of the day. Only there is one last point. And maybe this is the most important of all, because you can get everything that was said here right. And even so, keep sabotaging your sleep if you ignore this. Your body needs consistency to trust you. There is an internal clock regulating your energy, your state of alertness, your sleepiness, your body temperature, and the release of hormones related to sleep. This clock does not work well with constant improvisation. It works better with repetition, with predictability, with rhythm. When you sleep at a different time every night, your body loses reference. It does not know exactly when to begin to slow down. It does not know when to better prepare sleep. It does not know when to start the process that should lead you to deep rest. And then, what should be natural becomes a struggle. You feel resistance to sleeping. You have more difficulty waking up. You carry more tiredness throughout the day. Your mind becomes slower, with less focus, with less patience, with less emotional stability. And the most dangerous part is that, after a long time living like this, you may begin to think that this is normal, that living tired is the standard, that waking up without energy is part of adult life. But many times it is not. Many times this is just a dysregulated body, asking for predictability. Because of that, one of the most powerful decisions you can make is to choose a sleep time and treat it seriously. Not like a prison, but like an agreement with your biology. Like a commitment to the version of you that needs to wake up better. You do not need perfection, but you do need enough consistency to teach your body what to expect. After a few days, it begins to cooperate. Sleep comes with less resistance. Shutting down becomes more natural. Recovery begins to happen more deeply. And that changes everything. It changes your morning. It changes your mood. It changes your mental clarity. It changes your productivity. It even changes the way you react to the most common problems of the day, because a tired mind sees life in a heavier way. Now, do you realize what this really means? This is not just a night routine. It is a repair PR.